A post on Twitter X from Jedi Goodman reads, and I quote, 1. On Tank Frank pay-per-view buys, we have some television numbers, and I will have a better handle on it next week. There were reports going around for under 200K. Based on what I've gotten, that's probably within the range. It was well above Double or Nothing, but could be in the range of Revolution, and maybe a bit higher. I'd say 150 to 220K would be the range, end quote. And then a quote from Rick Glazier reads, and I quote, that's true. Under 200K buys. That's with Benavidez on it, end quote. And then a post from Michael Benson reads, and I quote, Gervantae Davis reported pay-per-view numbers according to Dan Raphael. Tank versus Frank sold 325,000 to 350K, end quote. There's some things I wanted to get off my chest. I wanted to address on this topic. So let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. First thing I wanted to say is, when it comes to pay-per-view buys and numbers, my number guy or my connect for that kind of thing, my source is Rick Glazier. Rick Glazier seems to be consistent with all the pay-per-view numbers, all the events. And also looked up, I googled this Jedi Goodman guy. He also seems to be a good source for combat sports numbers. But then Dan Raphael, I don't know about Dan Raphael. I've never gone to Dan Raphael to get pay-per-view buy numbers. So I found it rather interesting that Dan had different numbers than Goodman and Slick Rick. I don't know, man. Y'all tell me, is Dan Raphael a good source for this type of thing? Let me know down in the comment section. But for the sake of argument, let's just say that Dan Raphael's numbers are correct. Let's just say that Dan is the man for pay-per-view numbers, right? And 325,000 is the actual number. Yo, man, that is still not good. That is not good. If you're the face of boxing, that's not good. If Gervantae Davis is the face of boxing and he only sold 325 to 350K, yo, as a whole, I'm talking sport and fan base, we are in trouble. Now, I know that Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney did more than that. I believe they did 450 to 500K. That's more than Tank versus Frank. Canelo also did 500 to 550K versus Jaime Munguia. But let me tell y'all why it's not good. Especially if Gervantae Davis is supposed to be the face of boxing. Because if I remember correctly, the undercard for Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, yo, the undercard was trash. That shit was so lackluster. There was no types of names on that undercard. And the Canelo versus Jaime Munguia undercard that shit was trash also. Didn't have no type of stars on it. The main event had was star-studded for the Canelo versus Jaime Munguia, but that undercard was trash, yo. So what I'm getting at is this: if both Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney and Canelo Alvarez versus Jaime Munguia cards did better, that means that Canelo and Ryan Garcia carried the rest of the undercard by themselves. In my opinion, they sold 500K alone with no help. Gervantae Davis, on the other hand, he did have help. He had David Benavidez on his undercard and still did worse numbers than both Ryan Garcia and Canelo Alvarez. Not to mention the undercard for Tank vs. Frank had a championship fight on it with the title on the line and everything. Had a title bout on there, man, between Carlos Adames versus Terrell Gausha. Then after that, there was a title eliminator fight with who is supposed to be a up-and-coming star in Gary Antoine Russell. And then, of course, the co-main event with the supposed Mexican Monster versus Alexander Vosdik as a co-main event. Yo, that undercard was stacked compared to the Canelo and Ryan Garcia cards, and still Tank came up short versus the competition. There's a saying out there that goes something like this: women lie, men lie, but the numbers don't lie. So for all of those channels out there claiming that Gervantae Davis is the face of boxing, go sit your dumb ass down somewhere. And I'm not pulling any punches either. I don't do subliminals. I don't do the sneak disses either. Southpaw 773, go sit your faggot ass down somewhere. Fag non-boxing, go sit your dumb ass down somewhere. At this point, Ryan Garcia is more of the face of boxing than Gervantae Davis. But at the end of the day, no matter how many videos these racist channels make about Gervantae Davis being the face of boxing, just know that they're lying. And if you like being lied to, that's fine. You know, keep watching those channels. But if you want the truth, y'all already know where to come. Y'all come to the Big O Dogs channel, where you get the truth and nothing but the truth. You see, I don't have a dog in the race. I don't pander to any fan base online. I'm just being honest. So when you come over here and you subscribe to your boy, I'm gonna give it to you straight. I'm not gonna tell you nothing fake. But if you don't like the truth, or you can't handle the truth, because I know that the truth can hurt sometimes, then I totally get it. I understand. But this podcast is not for you. Now, I say all that to say this: as much as it might hurt the American fan base's feelings that the face of boxing isn't a black fighter or even a white fighter, and I know this might hurt because, again, the truth hurts, but the truth is that the face of boxing in the North American continent is not from the USA. He's not from the United States. Hell, he's not even from Canada. But it's a fucking Mexican. You know what I'm saying? And I know it probably hurts, man. That's probably why, you know what I'm saying, all the faking in the front and about Gervantae Davis being the face of boxing is so prevalent, man. You know? It's a red-haired, Irish-looking Mexican is the face of boxing. And I know y'all don't like how it looks, but it do what it do. Again, the numbers don't lie, fam. There is more people tuning in to watch Canelo Alvarez than there are to watch Gervantae Davis or any other American fighter. Now that I'm thinking about it, I see why all the hate now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a Mexican national that sells more pay-per-views on the United States American soil than American fighters. Brutal. But it is what it is, and it was what it was, fam. And with that, that's all I got for this one. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. And once again, this has been your boy O Dog Boxing, and I'm out this bit.